Good afternoon, morning, whatever time you might be watching this, PE families. Welcome to Maywood. Some of you might be returning, some of you might be new to Maywood. I am here to let you know a little bit of information about what your sixth grader can expect in their PE class next year, as well as their health class. My name is Carly Hupp. I am one of the PE teachers here. We have several, as same with health. Your student will see many of us in sixth grade and seventh grade and eighth grade, which is pretty cool. So we get to know them over 3 years. First off, a little bit about health. Your student will have one trimester of health as a sixth grader. Might be in the fall, in the winter, or in the spring. During that health class, they will cover numerous topics listed there. First one is health and wellness, kind of a general, mental health, emotional health, social health. They do a small unit on nutrition. For our substance abuse focus for sixth grade, the curriculum goes over the health risks of tobacco use, including vaping, chewing tobacco, smoking cigarettes, things like that. The two body systems that are focused on in sixth grade health are respiratory system and our musculoskeletal system, which is really great. We talk about those in PE also. And then the last 2 weeks of your student's sixth grade health time will be spent doing our family life and sexual health unit, as well as, and included in that is some information about HIV and AIDS. Our health teachers do an amazing job. I know that in class, it's mostly in-class work. They shouldn't expect any homework. Super easy to get an A and should not be a stress to their day. Moving on to PE, each sixth grader will receive 2 trimesters of PE. So 1 trimester of health, 2 trimesters of PE. The exception to that rule is if your student is enrolled in a music class. So if your student is in band, orchestra, or choir, they will only take 1 trimester of PE, and they'll have a different elective for their third option. But if your student is not in a music class, then they will take 2 trimesters of PE. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you as a parent is to pick up one of your standard padlocks at any hardware store that has the dial like the one shown, and help your student learn how to open one of those this summer. Obviously, they're not going to bring that lock and use it at school, but opening a padlock is a life skill that they're going to need forever and ever. And I've witnessed it for the last 21 years in education, that students who know how to do that pattern of opening a lock, it alleviates so much stress in the first couple weeks of school. If your student is in, when your student's in PE, they will be issued a padlock that they'll use for the trimester. If your student is in band or orchestra, they also use these padlocks, and their school locker uses the same pattern to open. It's not a padlock, but it is the same pattern. So if you could spend some time with them this summer and teach them how to open one of those, they're going to be light years ahead of their classmates that don't get that opportunity. For PE specific things, you can see some of the units that we have there on the left. We won't do all of these every trimester. We usually hit on 3 or 4 of them. And our goal in sixth grade PE is just to work on the basics, like learn the rules of volleyball. They aren't going to become outstanding volleyball players in sixth grade PE volleyball, but they're going to learn some of the rules. We'll teach them how to, legally contact the ball within the rules, things like that. Our goal then is in 7th and 8th grade is to play more realistic games. But sometimes some of the skills we're teaching them can be really challenging. PE at Maywood is a really physical class. We do a daily warm up. We do daily strength training with the exercises listed there. And then we also run quite a bit. If your student is not a PE lover, I know some kids, it's their favorite part of their day, and some kids, it's their least favorite part of their day. We grade based on, did you show up and did you give it your best effort? So even if it's not their favorite, our goal is to help them learn some different skills that maybe, they'll at least have a positive experience. We recognize that not every student is a runner and a good athlete, and you don't have to be in Maywood PE. You don't have to be the best soccer player, or the fastest runner, or do the most push-ups to get a good grade. And in fact, we want you to focus on your own personal best and try to achieve that every day. So most kids, by the time they leave, have a pretty positive attitude about PE. There's 4 district common assessments that we are required to do in middle schools. So all the middle schools in the Issaquah School District will do a pre and post test for a 20-meter pacer test. Your students are familiar with the pacer. They ran it in elementary school. We also run a 1,600-meter run on the track, which is 4 laps around the track. And that's literally just get around the track in whatever time you can. And, most kids, the improvement that they show between 6 and then all the way to 8th grade is unbelievable. We do a push-up pre and post test using a push-up test device that counts for them. And then we have a 3-minute maximum plank test that we do twice a trimester, plus some practices along the way. So what your student will need for PE class, they'll need a PE uniform. These cost $15. It's a gray t-shirt and green shorts. We write their last name on it for them. You'll pay this to the bookkeeper, but she won't give you the uniform. We distribute PE uniforms within the first week of the trimester. And as PE teachers, we help the kids get the right size. We have everything from youth small, youth medium, youth large, adult small, adult medium, adult large, adult extra large, XXL, XXXL. So us teachers will help them get the right size. We do oversize their shirts. The shirts have cotton in them and they will shrink in the dryer. So the first time they bring it home, it might look giant, but once you dry it a few times, it'll fit them right. We've gotten pretty good at sizing over the years. We also ask that they have a set of PE shoes. Do not need to be a brand new $100 pair of Nikes. We do ask that it's some sort of cross trainer type shoe that ties. Vans and Converse, I mean, technically they work if that's all they have, but they're just not super supportive. And we're doing running and jumping and out on the field and going from side to side and things like that. So a good shoe that ties, a good athletic shoe is preferred. If your student has asthma, we ask that they get permission to bring their inhaler with them to class should they need it or use it before class. And we've worked with dozens of kids over the years on this. They will need a journal for PE. That could be anything from a composition notebook to a spiral notebook to a tiny little memo pad, whatever. We usually do journals on Fridays and write about a variety of topics. And then optional, years ago, we had kids that were not excited that we were outside, in November. It was still 50 and sunny, but they didn't want to wear shorts and a t-shirt, or they wanted something alternative to those. So we will open an online store at the beginning of the trimester. It's usually open for about a week. And this is totally optional, but on that website, it's kind of like a Maywood PE spirit wear, if you will. There are long sleeve dry fit t-shirts available. There are Maywood PE hoodies. And there's Maywood PE sweats, which are kind of like soccer style sweats. Those are optional. It's an alternative to regular PE clothes. If they're not excited about that, they're not required. And they do usually it takes about 3 weeks to get the order fulfilled and shipped here. So they won't get them right away, but it is another option for students that aren't excited to wear those PE clothes. If you have any questions about PE and health, feel free to email your child's counselor. That information and what letters of the alphabet belong to which counselor can be found on our Maywood website. If you click Student Life and then click Counseling, you'll see that information. Every year, we're so excited to welcome a new group of incoming 6th graders. Maywood is a great place, and I think that your students are going to love coming to school here. So thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.